Hey guys, this is day 43 and 44 of my 100-day challenge. I'm not really sure where to start. It's actually been a pretty good couple days. I've been doing my best to stay busy. Um, Pretty much the same thing. I've been transcribing a lot of my video recordings and getting some penciling in. I haven't started working on actual pages yet, but still getting some drawing knocked out when I can. Still have quite a bit of fan art I want to finish, and not really sure what else. Um, Sorry, trying to work through my thoughts right now. Today I've been pretty much thinking about, today I've been doing a lot of thinking about my own motivation, seeing what some other people are going through, and knowing the things that I've gone through and probably will end up going through again. I've been thinking about my motivations, and yesterday I kind of gave myself some guidelines as an artist and a creator, and I'd actually like to share those with you guys. I just decided that if I'm going to do this moving forward, I should at least give myself some principles or some rules to kind of give myself a direction moving forward. The first, especially with doing fan art, is that I don't want to replicate reference. I want to put my own spin on things, especially when I'm doing fan art. I kind of want to at least change it up a little bit. Not necessarily a complete reinvention, but I want to put my own flavor on things, whatever I do from this point moving forward. That's not really counting portraits, but if I'm going to do a piece of a character from the 80s or something, maybe give it a little bit of an update. Second is to draw what I want, to draw what I love, to do the things that inspire me and motivate me, to not worry so much about doing things that somebody else is going to want to see, unless it's something that's specifically requested or a commission that I'm doing for payment. I just kind of found myself in the trap, like a lot of other artists do, that when I do things that I think somebody else is going to like, it usually doesn't turn out the way I want it to. So I decided that I want to do what I want to do and aim towards people that either already like the stuff that I'm doing or people that might be inspired by what I'm doing. Recently, over the last year or so, I found that I really love doing throwback stuff. I'm a child of the 80s and 90s, so stuff like Thundercats and Silverhawks, or shows like, I can't even think, I'm having a brain fart right now. So Weird, or you know the old Snick lineup. Those things just really invigorate me, and it's stuff like that that I love and that inspire me to continue creating. And I figured that if I'm going to move forward, that's the kind of stuff that I need to keep doing. Stuff that breathes life into whatever I'm doing. Third, for every hour, or not even every hour, whatever time I spend on doing my fan art, I want to spend just as much time on my own personal projects. And I found myself in the trap of, when I start doing one, focusing on one thing, I get really wrapped up in whatever I'm doing. So I want to try to enforce some discipline on myself to be balanced. Whatever I start doing, I want to make sure I spend just as much time working on the other. If I spend, however much time working on writing today, even if I don't get to doing as much drawing today, I want to spend just as much time drawing tomorrow. Some kind of way I want to find a balance. I need to find a balance. That way I don't end up in a place where I've been previously, where I'm writing every day, which is great, but then I get out of practice of drawing. And you guys know that drawing muscles are just like any other muscle. If you don't use it, you lose it. And I don't want to end up in that place again. Fourth, don't be afraid to experiment, and don't be afraid to fail, to embrace both. And I know this is one of those things that a lot of us in the 100 group have discussed, embracing failure and embracing, just making mistakes. We learn from making mistakes. We learn from our failures. And that's something that I definitely have to make a part of my creative process moving forward. To just not be afraid to screw up. Make a mistake, throw it away, or recycle it and just keep moving forward. 5, this is probably one of the most important lessons that I've learned over time, is to just do it. Draw, write, and have fun. To enjoy the process. I know that I get wrapped up thinking. I'm one of those people that constantly thinks about what ifs and maybes. Well, maybe I should do it this way, or maybe I should do it that way. I'm constantly worrying about how to do things instead of just doing it. And I've learned over time, especially recently, that when I just don't think and just jump in head first, I'm more likely to get things done. I'm less likely to overthink and start worrying and get stressed over about making mistakes, and just doing goes a long way. So from here on out, that's my game plan, is to just do it. Nike would be proud. I just want to keep moving forward, learn from my mistakes, learn from my failures, and gradually but surely, which I've already been doing, but I want to push myself in ways that I haven't pushed myself before. And last year was definitely probably one of the best years I've had artistically, and it was because I got to the point where I just decided to try stuff without really worrying about the outcome. Probably, I think it was August, I decided to give myself a 30-day challenge, and the challenge was basically to do a different DC character, one not overly done like Superman or Batman or Wonder Woman, but to give myself a different character, because I'm not very familiar with a lot of the DC lineup. I've always been more of a Marvel person, but was to give myself a different DC character every day, and no matter what, draw this character. Could be a rough sketch, could be a full-on colored piece, but to give myself a different character every day with whatever time I had available. And it actually went very well. I started off with the plan of only doing a rough sketch, and part of it was to actually post the sketch that day, to the piece that I did that day, to Facebook, That way it would hold myself accountable, kind of what we were doing with the 100-day challenge. And when I started doing that, some of the responses I got with the very first 3 pieces really kind of just invigorated me. So I decided to keep doing that. And I ended up getting to the point where my work that I was producing was better than anything I had ever done in a shorter period of time. And from that point on, I knew I couldn't settle. I couldn't fall back. So each piece became a point to do at least as well as I did with the previous one. And some days I didn't have as much time as others because family obligations and things like that came up. But I ended up pushing myself and experimenting with things I hadn't done before. I haven't really done a lot of coloring, but that month and those 30 days, I probably colored each and every piece. I did some group pieces that I hadn't really done at that point, and it just became an experimentation that really pushed me in places I had never been. So I want to keep doing things like that. And October, I don't know how many of you have actually heard of Inktober. I decided to participate in that. And one of the things I decided to do was do a different horror character or monster every day for those 30 days. Unlike the challenge I did in August, the DC challenge, I didn't actually finish the Inktober one because my anniversary is in October, so I ended up spending the last few days with my wife instead of worrying about that challenge. But what I did up until, I think I finished up to day 26. What I did up until that point, I am very proud of. And I basically did an ink sketch. Most of them, pretty much all of them, were with ballpoint pens. And they were drawn from reference, but I took the reference and I just basically did a ballpoint pen sketch of whatever that day's villain or monster was. And I don't think I had ever really done pen sketching before. Not like that, but I learned this is something I really enjoy doing. So from time to time, I actually go back to doing pen sketches, and it's something so freeing about it because you can't go back and erase like you can with the pencil. I mean, I had a white gel pen that I could go back and make corrections with after I was done to kind of tighten things up, but it's not like you can do with, pencil and eraser. You kind of have to push yourself to incorporate your mistakes to the piece and loosen up, sketch lightly. But it's things like that not worrying about making mistakes and just doing that I think really pushes me forward. And those are things that I want to continue, along my path as becoming a better artist. So with this 100-day challenge, from here on out, it's just going to be about doing. Not really worrying about structure so much as just I can't even think right now. Just squeezing by as much work as I can get done every day. And just doing something, anything, because over time it will add up. And some days like today where I've been working on things since I got up first thing this morning, I'll have time like that, and other days I won't. I might have 30 minutes. But as long as I get something done every day, I'm going to keep moving forward. I kind of actually thought of a couple things earlier today, and a couple of them were, some things I learned in school, and simple principles, but they're things that I always think of in different situations. Like Newton's third law is, that every action, I can't remember whether it's Newton's third law, but the principle, the law that, an object in motion tends to stay in motion. And it just makes me realize that as long as I keep doing something, I'm going to keep doing something. As long as I keep moving, I'm going to keep moving forward. And that the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So, to try and not let myself get distracted by whatever little dumb things that goes on, which we always do. I mean, all of us do at some point. Getting distracted by Facebook or video games or anything like that. I mean, it's alright to give ourselves some downtime here and there, but only after the work is done. And that I need to just keep my eyes on the prize and, if need be, put blinders on and just keep chucking ahead, keep moving forward. So, pretty much the last couple of days has been me working and just doing something, anything, and that's exactly what I want to keep doing moving forward. Other than that, I can't really complain. Like I said, last year was a pretty good year, and I probably did more drawing than I had done in the last 10 years, at least as far as finished pieces go. I mean, they weren't the quality that I like doing when I spend actual time on a piece, but as far as something that I did in a single day, I'm proud of the pieces that I produced, and I just want to keep that momentum going moving forward. Once I start it, I want to keep it going as long as possible. I'm not delusional. I expect myself to have bad days or even bad weeks at times, but I think keeping the mentality that I have right now will go a long way. So, other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. So, until next time, keep moving forward. Keep pushing.